My name is William, and today I will be telling you about this dome here called Palazetto dello Sport, which translates to small sport palace from Italian to English. It is an Italian. It is located in Italy. It's in a town called Piazza Apollodoro in Rome, and it was designed by Pier Nervi, a famous Italian architect. It was originally built to be used for the 1960 Summer Olympics. And they held basketball, weightlifting, and boxing here, so for the Summer Olympics. So people could come and watch any of those sports. And it's got a seating capacity of about 3,500 people, so not massive, but pretty good size for back then. The reason Pier Nervi was a famous Italian architect is his innovative use of precast reinforced concrete. He actually graduated from the University of Bologna in 1913 with a civil engineering and architecture degree. And he helped build his career by having photographers come and document the progression of his buildings before, during, and after, to see all that he could do with just pretty much just concrete. And he ended up becoming a professor in 1946 for structural engineering at Rome University, and he still worked on his own side projects while also being a professor, which is pretty neat. Takes a lot of time and sure skill. And with it being just purely concrete pretty much, other than the little bit of glass you see up top here and down there, it's considered a brutalist and kind of a modern style of architecture. One with domes back then. This is fairly new, a new idea, especially with the ribbed dome and these flying buttresses and the rippled lip around the dome. And construction for this started in 1956 and was completed by 1957. It was actually built in I think approximately 40 days, give or take. And that's all due to the use of precast and cast in place reinforced concrete. Pier Nervi actually designed, built, and patented his own portable precast plant, basically. So he could bring all of his forms, his precast forms for whatever he's working on, and bring them to the job site, and they could cast the concrete right there and then on the site, and about 24 to 48 hours later you can pull that concrete out of its form and it's already stiff enough to be installed. So a day or two after they pour it, it's ready to go up. So they didn't have to do a lot of shipping for materials, and they basically built it from scratch. And that's pretty much how they did it in 40 days. Without having your own concrete plant on site, it'd be pretty tough to get. The dome itself is 60 meters in diameter in real life, and it consists of, I think, 1,620 pieces, which is a lot. That's like a puzzle, but it's all because of his portable precast plant, basically. And yeah, architecturally, this is pretty significant because, like I said earlier, it's domes were pretty new at this time, especially for sporting arenas. There wasn't that much of a viewership. Sports weren't nearly as big as they are today, especially with television being so new back then. Because this was the games here were all televised in 1960, so people from around the world could watch and see this fine piece of Italian architecture. And it's just the materials itself was unique. Pier Nervi using pretty much strictly reinforced concrete to build this masterpiece. It's pretty significant, especially for the 1950s. And culturally, it just showcased Italian workmanship and architecture to the world post World War II. They're still in the rebuilding phase at that time, and they did a pretty good job for being so soon after such a massive destructive war. But now I'll pick you guys up, and you can see a little tour and kind of explain what I used and how I made this. There's the view from above. Came out a lot better than I was expecting. It's kind of interesting getting started, but the bones, the inside is pretty much up to here. Just some foam circles that I got from Michael's that you use for like a fake flower pot. And then to make the dome itself, I just traced out a template out of cardboard and replicated it about a dozen times, and so they're going all the way across the circle in there, and then covered it with this roll of foam I also picked up at Michael's, cut it into some triangles, and made a nice dome shape. And then there were some cracks and ridges, so filled it with drywall mud and sanded it down. And this guy was also, this is actually a ladle from the dollar store, cut the handle off, and then put some drywall mud on there, spray painted it. This is just some border from like a classroom I also picked up at the dollar store. And then these guys, I made a template on like an old Coke box, and once I found the right size and dimensions, I just made them. I just cranked them out, made about, I think there's 18 in total going around the entire circumference of this building, and then I just drew up these windows and doors, as you can see here, and up there. Drew those up on my computer, printed them out, glued them on there. But yeah, overall, pretty neat building, and it was kind of a challenge figuring out how to even get started, but once I started, just kind of found a groove and got it done.